This is the plaintiff, Sarah Mako. She says her cousin, the defendant, stole a dog belonging to her and he won't give it back. This is the most horrible thing to happen to her because she loves Noodle. Will fight with every ounce of her being to get him back and is suing for the $1,000 he owes her. This is the defendant, Christopher Colgan. He says their aunt owned Noodle for about 6 years, and when she and his grandmother could no longer care for him, they gave the dog to him. The plaintiff feels Noodle was promised to her, but she doesn't have the room for him, since she lives in her room with her boyfriend, her baby, 2 cats, a guinea pig, an iguana, and a tarantula, for God's sakes. Bottom line, Noodle is well cared for. He's happy, and he's his dog. He's accused of nabbing a dog named Noodle.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome, ma'am.
Sarah Mako,
Yes.
You are suing Christopher Colgan, your cousin, for $1,000, the value of a dog, but what you really want is the dog returned to you because according to you, it's your dog. What happened?
Well, the dog has been in my family for going on actually 7 years now because his birthday was October 4th. And he's
That's
lived...
really creepy. That's my dog's birthday.
Oh, yeah, October 4th, 2010, so he's 7 now. He's lived at my aunt and my grandmother's
When you say in my
house.
family, what does that mean?
He's lived at my aunt and my
Whose dog
grandmother's
is it?
house. It was my aunt's dog originally.
Okay. Is the aunt here?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so go ahead.
Okay, so the aunt, the dog was my aunt's and originally and lived at my grandmother's house with her because she lives with my grandmother.
Okay.
I love the dog more than anything. If that wasn't true, I wouldn't be here. Sorry. I take care of him. I take him places. I take him to the store. I take him to get his nails cut.
All right, you're going to have to pull it together because you filed a lawsuit and I have to hear the lawsuit.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It just hurts a lot. Back when my son was born, around that time, I knew I had to move out of my other grandmother's house where I live and into a house, and that's when it was promised to me verbally that Noodle would come with me.
What is it was promised to
I'm
me
sorry,
verbally?
Noodle.
Who promised you that?
My aunt.
Your aunt.
Yes.
Said, you can have Noodle.
Yes, you can take him with you.
What day did your aunt tell you that?
I don't have an exact day. She's,
Okay,
she's been saying it.
She's been saying it.
Yes.
So for how long have you been saying you were going to take Noodle?
As long as my son's been alive, for sure, which is almost a year old.
Okay.
So
how come you hadn't taken Noodle?
Well, because I assumed my grandmother, and because it's her house, she told me it was okay for him to stay there until I had somewhere for him to go because he wasn't allowed to come to my other grandmother's house. So
Okay.
we bought a trailer that's in the process of being renovated.
Okay.
So my aunt was entirely on my side about it. She knew how much I love him and how much he means to me.
Okay.
And she even came and she wrote a letter saying that she gives him
Wait,
to me.
let's do this chronologically.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is it takes longer than anticipated for you to
Right.
take the dog.
Right.
And during that time, I imagine grandmother's saying things like, you got to take this dog, or aunt is saying things like, you got to take this. What was wrong with their situation and the dog?
Well, my grandmother let my other cousin get a big golden retriever who was just a little rough with Noodle because Noodle's really a tiny dog. And
what kind of dog is Noodle?
An Italian Greyhound. She's like
Okay.
a Greyhound but small.
Right.
And he was just being put down in my aunt's room a lot by himself. So that's why I would take him out and I'd bring him places with me to make sure he got out.
How
because,
often did you go and visit Noodle?
every other day at least. Like I was always at my grandma's house because she's my grandma. And I bring my
Right,
son
I know.
there.
You got a baby. Do you have a job?
Yes.
Right,
absolutely.
you have a job, you have a baby, you
Yes.
have, who's that guy?
Oh, this is my boyfriend.
Okay, you have other pets.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I have.
All right, so what happens, when do they get into the picture? Or he
around
did.
May.
Okay,
Around
and what
May,
happens
if I'm not
in
mistaken.
May?
I don't know. I guess he brought his new girlfriend over to introduce her. I'm sorry, to my grandmother, and I guess she liked Noodle and saw Noodle, and my grandmother just told her to take him, and I was just broke my heart.
Okay, but so you don't feel your grandmother has a right to give away the dog that's in her house?
Not in her name, not her dog, not her. Didn't belong to her.
Whose name was it in?
Most of it's in my aunt's name.
What's most
Originally-
of it? What is
Most
it?
of all his vet stuff is in my aunt's name from when he was younger. and everything. He was actually never registered to anybody that I know of. So the
Okay.
only one.
But then he got registered, right?
Yes.
Like after this is your cousin.
Right.
And the dog ended up getting registered not to you, but to your girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is your girlfriend here?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
Okay, come on up, step up. All right, so you go to the house and you're going there to introduce Grandma to her, and what happens?
And I meet Noodle, and he's an adorable little Italian greyhound. He comes up on me, instant bond, fell in love with him. And she was saying that, you know, nobody takes care of him. He's by himself. He's locked in a room half the time. He looked sick, unhealthy, and he was shy. Every time you saw him, he'd shake and shake and shake. So they were saying, we want to get rid of him. And I said, I'll take him. So within that week's time, I asked him if they were really serious, really want to get rid of him. Do they really want him to have a new home? And they said yes. So I brought him to my house with my family, and we gave him a good home.
Did you ever speak to Aunt about that?
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
They were actually both there together when I asked them if they really wanted to get rid of him, and she agreed for me to have the.
Did anybody say, hey, we've been telling Sarah it's going to be her dog? Do you have a picture of Noodle? Anybody got a picture of Noodle?
Oh, I got dozens.
Okay.
Yes,
Did,
Yeah.
Several.
did
is
anybody
all-
say, I mean, I imagine they said, you know.
My aunt did, but she said in the end it's her dog and it's her decision to get the
Well, what
dog
did she
to whoever
say
she
about it, though? Because that's your cousin.
They said that Sarah had been saying she'll take him.
So did you call Sarah to see
No,
what
I didn't, because it wasn't Sarah's dog, it was my aunt's
Nah, I
dog.
know, but just as a human being,
I didn't
did it
even-
occur to you to say,
No, Your Honor.
wait, you've told Sarah she can have him, but Sarah hasn't taken it? Hey, Sarah, listen, are you going to take the dog or aren't you? Because we have an opportunity to get the dog a good home with my new girlfriend, and if you can't take the dog, then why don't you just, like, that didn't happen?
No, Your Honor.
You're not very close, are you?
No, we're not, Your Honor.
Or do you actually dislike each other before
No,
this?
no, not at all. We just
You're just not that nice?
didn't
I
even
mean,
think
because
about
that
it.
didn't occur to you that would be nice?
No, Your Honor. My grandmother and my aunt said that we could take it. They wanted to have a good home, and that was it.
May 19th. It was a Friday.
Is
and that was the
is
day,
May 19th the day you first met the dog? or
That
the
is the day I took him home.
Okay. Oh, this is from before when I asked her for a picture. Yeah. Is the dog smiling?
Yeah, actually.
Does the dog have dentures? What is that?
First dog I ever saw smile.
All right. In any event, go ahead, go on.
Well, I contacted my aunt because we're very close, and just kind of upsetting to see her on the other side right now. But I contacted her. I said, I can't believe that Nan let them take him. I said, this isn't fair. You know how much he means to me. And I said, will you meet with me and give me all the information you have on him? So she gave me everything that she had and involuntarily handed over to me. This is his rabies certificate for this year. I have all his vet records. I have a certificate
And
of
what?
pedigree.
Right, and what?
And she came with me to a notary to sign that she gave him, that he's my dog, and that, you know, that she had given him to me.
That's after the dog was already given to her. All right, let me
Yes,
see
because
that-
what
let
I
me see
wanted
that.
to do was, I didn't want to involve her, because I know
You
that
didn't want to involve who?
my aunt, because my grandmother's very spiteful, and I didn't want my grandmother to kick her out.
I thought you visited your grandmother every other day
No,
because you're so close.
absolutely. That's why I'm confused as to why my grandmother would do this to me. But she's very, I didn't want her to backlash on my aunt and my cousins and kick them out. So I kind of wanted to like separate her from it and say, and she knows the dog was my dog. So I said, will you just help me so I can do this so you don't have to do this because I don't want Dan to get mad at you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I have you two switch with Aunt and Grandma for a
Yes,
moment,
ma'am.
please?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want everybody to be patient. I'm going to be patient.
And can you just talk a little bit louder?
I will. I can not only be patient, I can be super loud. So I will speak louder. Okay. Who have I got here? Because I don't want to call you Nan. What's your name?
Kathy, but you can call me Nanny if you'd like.
I will call you Nanny. All right. Now, what's your last name? I'm sorry.
Kecky.
And your name?
Jennifer?
Jennifer, I want to ask you a few questions. How long had you been, had you in fact told the plaintiff that Sarah, that she could have the dog?
Probably about a year.
Okay. And were you expecting her to go ahead and take the dog?
Not like right away, but I figured like she would have a place eventually like to take him. But like what happens is we would have to lock him. We had another dog in the house that Noodle didn't get along with. So we would have to lock Noodle away for like a couple of hours to let the other dog out because he would fight with her. So I didn't want to wait any longer for him to like be somewhere where he could run around and be out of.
So
not
did you
just
ever
be in
give
room.
her a deadline?
No, we never gave her a deadline.
Okay. So on the day that he comes in with his girlfriend, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens?
To be honest, I don't really remember. I just know that she really liked the dog, and we were tired of like always putting him away. So we figured she could give him a good home.
So
And I
you
wasn't
made the
sure
decision to
when
give
Sarah
her
was
the
going to be
dog.
able to take him.
Okay, because it didn't look like she was going to
Yeah, and
actually.
at that point, I didn't even think of like giving her a call, like, because I just wanted like what's best for Noodle at that time instead of having him always locked up in a room.
Okay. Nan. Kathy. Ma'am.
Call
Did
me Nanny. That's easier.
how come nobody called Sarah? I'm just curious.
Sarah had been coming in and out of my house anytime, okay, with her baby. I wanted to get rid of Noodle, not because I didn't like him. I wanted to get rid of Noodle because I thought Noodle needed a new place to live, a better home where he would get the attention and the caring. But she had no place to live except her grandmother's. And I didn't want Noodle locked up again in a room.
I would like to speak to him. Come on up. Can you switch with Aunt? You can come back up. I see a text that she sends to you. I don't want to fight with you, but Noodle is my. Do you have the text in the phone?
Yeah, I have my phone.
I like to actually see it because this is people sometimes photocopy it in the wrong order, and I just want to
Got
see
you.
it correctly.
I have.
Wait, I want to talk to Aunt a second. Come back up. So what happened that a few days later, you end up giving her a document that says, I give permanent ownership of Noodle, the Italian Greyhound, to my niece, Sarah Mako?
I don't know, because I guess she was making me feel bad, but like we said, we didn't want him locked up anymore.
Right. What are you trying to show me?
I have a letter written from my aunt that's dated
Which
a
aunt?
week before, from my Aunt Jenny,
Well, she's standing right there. I can ask her whatever I want. Go ahead. Saying from the week before what?
that she gives us the dog. and
Except for
it's-
when was that
Yeah,
letter
this
written?
was dated on May 19th.
Is that the day you wrote it, honey?
Yes.
Really? All right, let me ask you. Is that the day she wrote
It
it?
was the day we wrote it, and then we had it notarized, and we had it signed.
I'm sorry, you had it written, notarized, signed,
Yes.
and written on May 19th.
Yes,
I don't believe you.
we did, Your Honor.
No,
We
you-
rewrote it because it was very sloppy looking, but it was written the same day.
Well, let me see the one that was sloppy looking.
We don't have that copy, Your Honor.
Okay, so when was that document written?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is it possible, if there's an honest disagreement, that one person can sue a family member and then afterwards still maintain a relationship? What do you say?
No.
Really? Even if it's an honest disagreement, but you can't. Why?
Oh, can I change my answer?
Wow, you're easy.
Okay. Yes, but then eventually there's forgiveness in the end.
Fair enough. Wow, that was easy.
No, I don't think so. I think there's hard feelings. If you lose the suit, that there'll be hard feelings, even if it's a family member.
But courts are designed to resolve disputes, and if there's a real dispute and a real disagreement, why can't you get past it if you sue?
I just feel like family disagreements and disputes should stay exactly that, family disputes and disagreements, and it's a misuse of the legal system to take it to court.
Okay, fair enough. You have awesome eyebrows.
Oh, thank you.
They're amazing going inside the courtroom.
This one was written probably a week after,
Okay, so what day was that written? Can you answer the question now?
23rd, Your Honor.
Oh, you
24th, Your
folded
Honor.
like a cheap suit. It's the day after this.
No, I'm
Boy,
saying-
it didn't take long, did it? Why are you lying?
I'm not lying, Your Honor. We
You
had
are
one
lying.
written-
I said, when was that written? And your answer was the 19th when you know it wasn't. It doesn't predate this. It came after that. And listen, Aunt's going to have to sit down, drop your documents. You're out of this. I need girlfriend back up, and then I want to talk to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I need your phone.
I can't get it to load on Facebook.
Oh,
but
for the love of God.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
I don't want to fight with you, but Noodle
don't
is
have
my
data.
dog. Nan never owned him. I am absolutely heartbroken she would do this to me. I've been crying for 2 days straight. I really would like him returned to me. I love that dog more than life, and I'm willing to do whatever I have to do legally. But we're family. I don't want it to be that way. And what's your response? Ha, 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 ha. That's your response?
Yes, Your Honor.
TOPH. What does that mean?
They call me Toph. They don't call me Chris.
Toph, I get what I want. Good luck. So she answers, okay, if that's how you want to be. And then at some point you write, ha, 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 ha. You can try, Sarah, but you won't win. You make maybe what, 30,000 combined with your boyfriend? I make 120,000 a year. Try fighting me in court, see how fast your bill runs up. Ha, 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 ha. I'm a U.S. Marine in great standing with my community who is going to be a police officer soon. who currently makes $120,000 a year. Noodle is in a great house with a huge yard, getting lots of love and attention. So again, good luck. What kind of Marine are you? Because that's really one of the nastiest, most immature things I've ever seen in my life. How long have you been dating this guy?
I didn't know he was that mean.
I mean, who writes this to somebody who's obviously heartbroken?
It was immature, Your Honor, I was upset too, and I didn't want to deal with it.
Upset too? No, what you're doing is ridiculing her, telling her that because she's poor, she can't have a dog.
It was very
which
low.
Which is pretty ridiculous. It's pretty low.
It was very
immature. It's embarrassing for a Marine, and to me, that is a serious character flaw to put a badge and a gun in your hands.
You're absolutely correct,
if you're
Your Honor.
this big a bully.
It was very low, it was very immature, and it's very mean to me. You're right, Your Honor. And I do regret saying those things. I do.
Oh, do you?
Yes,
I think you regret that I read it out loud on national television. I think that's what you regret.
When I talked to my grandmother about it, I told her that I did regret saying those things.
I read that out loud because I wasn't about to let him skate on what he's put you through, because I think that's horrible. I think if he had taken the high road and just said, look, it's their dog to give away, the dog's in a good place, I'm sorry you feel that way, do what you gotta do, like a man,
You're correct,
I wouldn't have read all this out loud. But this was really crappy. Be that as it may, my call has to be a legal call. And here's what it is. I've got them saying you can take the dog. I've got you not taking the dog. I agree it would have been more humane to you and a better treatment of you if they had said, well, hold on, let me see if she's going to take. But they didn't. And part of why they didn't is not just because they thought you didn't want the dog anymore. That's not it. It's because, in the end, they kind of didn't really want you to end up having the dog anyway. And so the question, because they think it's too much for you.
Yeah, but
I understand.
My life is fine.
No, I'm sure it is.
Right,
I didn't mean that you're. First of all, I don't give the property to the person who has more money. Okay, that's ludicrous. Okay, I've had these situations, and the dog is gone with a homeless guy who owned the dog. All right, a dog is property as much as we love our dogs. All right. What I've got to figure out is, can you really call yourself the owner? Because for a year they've been telling you you can be the owner. And I can't.
And I agree and understand why you say that.
You know, it's not like you did anything during that year other than pet and love the dog.
But
you know,
I don't have the receipts, but I took him to get his nails cut. Out of pocket, I paid for it myself.
Everything that there is in the aunt's name, and the aunt has a right to give the dog away, even if she feels bad afterwards. All that stuff is after the giveaway, and the only question is, was the giveaway a proper giveaway, or was that dog your dog at the time? Let's see. Every document is in the aunt's name that has to do with vets. The dog is living with the aunt and grandma. And, you know, so how is it I can say that wasn't a good giveaway? Plus, we're now in a new situation, too, you know? That dog has been there and happy for all of this time. So at least you know, and, you know, she's fighting you on time because this is her family's dog now. At least you know that the dog is being well taken care of. And I know that you're suffering, and I'm sorry about that. But they had a legal right at that time to give that dog away to her. And therefore, in this case, I'm finding in favor of that defendant. Verdict for the defendant.
Well, in a very sad case, here, Ms. Mako, maybe you can use some tissues. You know, I think everybody watching this certainly sympathizes with you. You know, it's any dog lover. This is heartbreaking to go through. I certainly understand.
I don't want to be anywhere near those people. They're my family. They're not my family.
What's this going to do to the relationship with your aunt and your grandmother?
It's unfortunate, but there is no relationship anymore.
That's it?
Yeah. Somebody who could do that to me doesn't belong in my life, doesn't belong in my son's life.
Yeah, family's supposed to be consistent.
It's unfortunate.
I know. I am so sorry.
It's unfortunate, but it's...
I'm sorry, but you got to sign a few documents outside. You're very, very welcome. Now, here comes Mr. Colgan. Mr. Colgan, you came off like a slime ball, if I put it mildly. You know, you should be so embarrassed. I'm talking to him. I'm saying he should be so embarrassed.
You
know, let me ask you.
I have a great-grandchild by her. She won't let me see him anymore since this all happened. She doesn't need the dog. They don't even live in the trailer that they were given.
What's your language, man? Let me ask you a question.
Go sit down.
How long have you had the dog?
I've had the dog for 7 months.
So he really has had a chance to get into the family.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you won the case, so
And like I was saying before,
congratulations.
there was a lot of emotions involved in it, and it got a little heated. And
I know. But you
That's
better watch
why-
it. I mean, that
that's
was
why I
so
got-
bad
that's
for
why I
you.
got
That was
emotional.
terrible.
That was why I got
That's
emotional.
not like a Marine. You know that.
I know,
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Thank you very much. Wow. What a sad case. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, I mean, look, once a dog is given away, it doesn't matter whether the person who gave it away has remorse. It is simply done.